welcome to Spinster actually. My name is Anna Marie and today I am going to hopefully talk to you about the various things I've been making since I previously made a video and talked about what I had been making. I sort of had planned to do this a little sooner than I have, but honestly, like, I've just not been really in the mood or up for it at all. Like, I had to move out of my flat, which was very stressful and exhausting, and that really put a damper on everything, and I'm still kind of recovering from that and like blah blah blah. I guess we'll start with what I'm wearing though, because both of these are finished since I last made a video. This, if you have been watching, you might recognize. It's a tolsta tee, but I would say it's not particularly kind of accurate to like how a tolsta maybe would come out. I knit it with holding two plies of a linen cotton cone that I had, and then like both colours, they're both the same, but I only had like a bit left of the yellow one, so I thought it would be nice to kind of like, I don't really know if the word is like mull, but basically I always held one strand of the pink colour, but then I sometimes supplemented the secondary strand with the yellow. Yeah, like I think it does look cute and stuff, and like it's very soft, and it's kind of a great like summer top. The only thing is I do feel like in my head I had kind of planned for it to like come out a little bit smarter than it did, and I feel like it's a bit more casual. And I also feel like the armholes have like definitely kind of expanded, and like they look not quite how I wanted them to look. Like I do think it's nice, and in the end I did decide not to like knit any of the sleeve, and I feel like that looked good. And then once I cast off and blocked it, I was like, oh, I don't think I like this as much. I do have like a bunch of the pink linen cotton left over, but I think I'll just leave it. I weighed this and I think it was like 180 grams or something, maybe 220 or something. So I could definitely make another garment a bit like this, because I have a bunch of that linen cotton left. It's like a woolly knit cone that I got for like £5, and it was like 500 grams of it, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I do have some ideas about what I'll make with the leftovers, but not really even leftovers, there's just like a whole chunk. But you know, that's kind of for later. And then the necklace I'm wearing is a necklace I made to be like the Palestinian flag colours, and I put this little Magen David I have, Magen David, Star of David, on because I thought it would be cute. Somebody like gave this to me and it was on another necklace. But the necklace was just like a simple chain, and I've realised I really don't like wearing those. I think I've kind of finally cracked how I can wear necklaces or like jewellery, but for me the like weight needs to be like basically the same all the way around. I actually don't like it when it's like, yeah, anyway, not to get into my sensory feelings, but yeah, I'm really happy. I think it's really cute. It's maybe like a little tight like for a choker than I wanted it to be, but it's on elastic, which is fine, and I think it's honestly kind of depends on the day, and honestly right now I'm just very hot and like not very comfortable, so I think whatever I'm wearing is not going to be particularly comfortable for me. Yeah, so those are the kind of finished objects I'm wearing right now. To briefly talk about works in progress, because I think I just have one to show, and it doesn't really, I think, look like, I have no idea what this looked like the last time I showed it, but I really have not made as much progress as I wanted to. It's partially I've been like so tired, and then I haven't really wanted to like discipline myself into like committing to projects, and instead I've just been wanting to like make whatever I wanted to make. I mean, I think part of it, I have also been like kind of frenzied in terms of what I've been making, because I have been doing lots of different creative stuff, including like collaging and stuff like that, which is really nice, but also I actually do think it's kind of a bit much, and I need to try and figure out how to be creative in a way that doesn't like sap me. And also I feel like some of it I'm doing as a way not to like attend to my own actual feelings and like how I am. But anyway, that's sort of an aside, I guess. But yeah, so this is the bloodroot tee. I didn't also get as far as I wanted to. There was like a knit along and it finished in the first week of June, I think. And I don't quite remember where I got up to with when it was June, but I have knit a little bit, but I really don't think you can tell, but it's gonna look really cute. It's a 2x2 rib, and that's the entire top, and it's just a lot of 2x2 knitting. And I'm still in the sleeve increases, although I think maybe I've got only a few left. The other thing is I couldn't get row gauge, which I never can, it seems, so I do feel like I might have to knit a couple more rows that don't have increases before I move on to the next step, which I believe is body and sleeve increases. But that is something to kind of pay attention to, and like a little concerning, because I do want this to fit really nicely, especially because it is supposed to have negative ease. So I am a little worried that, you know, about that. But I also feel like with this kind of knitting, you do sort of have to just commit, because there's only so many times you can like check, and also when it has like the full weight of the body, it will like be a little different when it has the full weight of the sleeves, although I'm not doing like super long sleeves. I think I'm going to do like this length sleeves, but that will still change things. So yeah, just yeah, I changed my progress marker to be here, and yeah, I've done 2 rows since I moved it there, so that's great. I guess like a very modest aim would be to just like have done maybe an inch more on this for the next, oh sorry, my phone was moving. I was just saying that maybe a modest aim would be to try and do like an inch more of this by the next time I make a podcast episode. Which, you know, hopefully it will be. I mean, the good thing for me is, so this is in Knitting for Olive cotton merino, and for me, like, I could wear this in the winter as well as the summer, or probably not the height of summer, but like the spring, summery. And so I don't really mind about like not finishing it during the summertime, because it's not like I'm gonna only wear it in the summertime. Honestly, because I get hot super easily, like it's more like I will mostly wear anything during the winter time and just like have more layers if I need to, versus in the summertime I feel like I can only wear like a few things, or like I'm more limited because I just get so hot and I feel very uncomfortable. So that's at least something, like I don't feel like, oh, I've missed my chance to wear it, because honestly as soon as I finish it I'm gonna wear it, but also who knows when I'll finish. It's gonna be a while. Yeah, I think that's the only kind of like work in progress to show. I'll like put all of the information for like patterns and things in the description box. I don't think I've been that good at like talking about those, sorry. Yeah, and also like I knit this tolsta off gauge, but I also think in previous, I'm pretty sure it was off gauge. Maybe it wasn't as off gauge as I thought it was. Anyway, I will have talked about that in previous episodes whilst I've been knitting this, because this I cast it on like last year or something, and then have been knitting like mostly very slowly or like just in like chunks, and then finally kind of wanted to finish it for this summertime. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Joris, who is finished. He is complete, and I think he's like so cute and lovely, and I love him a lot. Yes, and he is another finished object. Yeah, I stuffed him with like the like those warblers that like I couldn't spin, basically, that like came off my spinning because it was too short or because it was all clumpy or whatever, and I thought that was kind of nice. I think I maybe have understuffed him a little in general, although it's okay mostly, but I'm like not very happy with how I stuffed his head, his little, not horns, you know, his little, what would you call these? Anyway, his beautiful head. I think like I did like, you know, stuff like it a lot, but I also stuffed it as I was knitting because I didn't want to stuff it right at the end, because I thought it would be easier to get right to the edges if I stuffed it as I was knitting it. So like I stuffed it when I had like knit the head, I think, but not super loads, but then, you know, anyway, because this is all knit in the round. It's a free pattern too, and and I used some merino yarn that a friend gave me because they were like, I don't know what I'm going to use this for. And I was like, well, I don't really know either, but I could knit a joris. So I did. Yeah, sorry, I got kind of distracted saying stuff. I just sewed with like embroidery thread the little eyes, and I think he's so adorable. Woo! But yeah, like I do wish that his spikes were a little bit more stuffed, and I feel like they were, but then I do feel like maybe as I was knitting it I should have gone back and restuffed before I finished off. Yeah, I had to reknit, like, okay, so the pattern is free and like it's a fine pattern. I do think it's a little confusingly laid out. I'll talk about it like this. I think it's a little confusingly laid out, and occasionally like the instructions are a little, yeah, unclear. And then there was something particular I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, and then I felt like when I was knitting the feet, basically the way you do this pattern, because it's all knit in the round, you leave in waste yarn, so you knit onto waste yarn various stitches, and then once, for example, once you've knit most of the body, you go back and you undo the waste yarn and pick up so that the arms come directly out of the body, which is really cool, and I'd never done that technique before or anything, so that was really fun to learn. And honestly, it's very easy. Clearly that's also how like an afterthought heel works, and yeah, I feel really great to have learned that as a skill. But I will say, when I got to the feet, you basically yeah, you do like you've done for the arms, and then when you get just before the little toes, you put in a line of waste yarn, and then you knit this part, and then you come back and you knit this little other foot toe part. Joris anatomy. But I found that for both, so I tried to, when I was knitting this leg, I had followed the instructions exactly, and then that had led to me having my waste yarn on the front here, so I had to undo these toes and redo it with the waste yarn this side, and then so I tried to kind of preempt that with the secondary leg, but then that turned out to have me knitting it on this side, even though I had like done what I did for this one to make it on the other side. So I don't know what quite happened there. I do think that even if I made a kind of original mistake by following what I had done the second time, I think that the first mistake was not my fault and was in the pattern. So yeah, like not super straightforward, but honestly mostly straightforward. And just like, I did feel like it was quite a lot of knitting. I feel like one of the things that takes quite a long time is the beginning head part, because you construct each of these. You start with one and then you like knit the next one onto it, and so on and so on. And after a while, I guess I did feel a bit like the legs were kind of endless, because you do the same thing 4 times, and then obviously because I then had to redo the ends twice, I literally had to undo and do that, like, yeah, however many times that is, 6 times or something, which was a little annoying, but it was obviously completely worth it. And yeah, I'm super happy to have Joris. Perfect. Before we move on to spinning stuff, I'll talk about this very like heavy bouncy necklace, which is another necklace I made. Maybe I'll swap this one out so you can see it on. But this is themed with cows, which I think is very obvious. It is quite a lot bigger than my other necklaces that I've been making, but yeah, I think it's nice. I have been struggling a little with how to wear it, but basically, like, I got this little bell, like it was in some kind of parcel that a friend gave me literally probably like, what, 5 years ago? And I kept it and not been sure what to do with it, and then I was like, cow themed necklace. And it's also because I got recently a top with a cow on it, and I loved it, and then I was just like, why am I not more cow inspired, you know? So yeah, I thought I would make this. It's just very simple, and the beads are all like silicone, beads. I got like a went on Vinted and I searched for like black and white beads, and then somebody was literally selling like a cow bead little set, which is what these are from. So I thought I may as well use it. And it does make a noise. I don't know if my phone microphone is like picking it up, but yeah. I'll just keep it on for now. So the next thing to talk about is spinning. Something that was really heavily impacted, unfortunately, by my moving was my ability to participate in Tour de Fleece. Like it just, yeah, it really wasn't going to work for me really, which made me pretty sad. But I did do some spinning, just not really on my spinning wheel, which is what I wanted to do because I really would like to like get much better at doing that, and I think the only way to do that really is to put some hours in and actually do it. But I did at least get some spinning done, and that was on my spindles. I do have actually another spindle, which is a Gaughan, which I've been a little bit fearful to try and like get into, but I think that's maybe an aim for the last part of this year / maybe next year. But yes, the things that I was spinning were, I guess technically I sort of was spinning 3 things during Tour de Fleece, and I also did some spinning during Tour de France, Tour de Fleece Femme, but like I said, I didn't have a heart for it, and I was just a bit, yeah. So this, let's see, this is my Cotswold spinning. Which I think, you know, has this beautiful luster, which we'll hopefully pick out because of the nice sunlight on it. And it is a 2-ply. It's pretty thin. Like I would say, because of the staple length of Cotswold, it was really easy for me to spin pretty thin. It's certainly not, you know, like totally even or anything like that, but I do feel like, you know, it's doing well. This I'm spinning because I'd love to make it into some zeet, which are the tassels at the end of a talus or a prayer shawl. And yeah, I think it has beautiful luster, and it means that whilst I was spinning it, like, and I still have a bunch more to spin. Yeah, I suppose not like loads and loads, but I think this is all of it that I carded to, like, I don't think I have more to card, like I think that's all of it. And I have lost what I was saying. So yeah, I do still have some more to spin, but whilst I'm spinning it, I've been making sure to have mitzvah intent for its usage. And yeah, I will need to figure out how to tie the tzitzits, because they are complex little knots. But yeah, really like fun and exciting kind of project. Really happy with how this has come out. Like definitely, again, like there are some thick and thin, but I think it's just really great generally. And I made it with my hands, so it's okay for it to be a little imperfect. I want that imperfection really, because that shows that I made it, you know. But yes, I did. I do think I maybe underspun the singles, which I sort of didn't quite realise, and like part of that is because it was easy to spin thin and it's got a long staple length, and also maybe because I think I'm often underspinning, and I just feel like it's because I'm worried about overspinning, but then I actually think that it's quite hard to overspin, especially because there are lots of things you do after to like set the twist in a yarn, and like obviously also when you leave your bobbins to rest, like sometimes the twist like leaves, and or like not fully, but like it gets less spun. So yeah, I think I need to be less scared about that. But that meant that basically I originally plied this, and I felt like that was kind of when it became clear that it was underspun. I also sent a picture to a friend, and the friend was like, oh, we were talking a bit about it. So then I just ran the already plied 2-ply through my spindle again. So I just plied more, basically, like I twisted it more that time. And I think I came out with a much better, a better yarn for what I'm looking for, and also just in general. So yeah, I am happy with that. I didn't finish it during Tour de Fleece, I don't think, but I did some. yeah, and obviously I do, with this project, I still have more Cotswold to spin, but I did want to make some progress because it has been on my spindle for a while, so that was nice to do so. Then other spinning stuff, with my Turkish spindle, which I'm trying to, get the hang of, and I think I mostly have, and I also feel like it's actually maybe easier than a drop spindle, like a more regular drop spindle to use. Like, I do feel like it's just very smooth sailing mostly. That could just be, well, I don't know. It's a nice, I do really enjoy it. And yeah, so the thing that I did spin, I'm pretty sure I finished this all during Tour de Fleece, and that is this, which is a 2-ply again of some Hebridean. In fact, I do have little like things that I wrote of the meterage and stuff, but I actually think that they're wrong, because I think I did my maths wrong. And then I kind of noted that I maybe did it wrong, but then like, yeah. But anyway, this is Hebridean. It's about 13 grams, I think. And it's an okay yarn. Like, it's, you know, just part of me experimenting with different breeds. My friend gave me, must be like, yeah, 15 grams of it, because I don't think I have any left. So I could kind of try it out, test it out. And yeah, like, it's a very dark wool, ouch, and yeah, I think I probably also underspun the singles, but what can you do? Yeah, it was also like a little way to just get into using my Turkish spindle, I mean, because I don't think I've made that many like actual complete yarns with it yet, but I could be wrong. So yeah, there's that little skein. And then the other thing that I finished with my Turkish spindle, which I did spin a little of during Tour de Fleece and also Tour de Fleece Femme, but I finished it, and I mean I still actually haven't wet set this or anything, but yeah, I finished it like yesterday, was this, which is a kind of like, it's also a 2-ply. It's a sort of hodgepodge of, I feel like I say that word a lot. Do I say that word a lot? Like in these videos. It's some like leftover Jacobs that I had, and I combined it with just some other like bits and bobs that I like failed to spin. So there's a bit of like the blue is a sort of like silk merino blend that I started off spinning with like a couple years ago. The white, I think, is, what's the one that everybody has at the beginning because it's so useful? What is it? I can't remember. Anyway, it's that. So I haven't weighed this and I haven't like, you know, checked how long it is, but it's like a solid amount of yarn, and I feel like I really filled the Turkish spindle up. That's the other thing I've kind of been experimenting with, is like how much can you put on to a Turkish spindle, because obviously the method of creating like a cob is a bit different, because I mean you can do other ways. I feel like I learned that you could only do, you know, under 1 over 2, or the other way around, but there do seem to be like a couple other ways to like fill up the cob, including like a basket weavingy one and stuff like that, which also is like a fun kind of aesthetic aspect of the spinning process. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Like, I just had some of this grey fibre left, and it was nice to kind of make a nice little yarn out of it with it. And I think Jacobs is quite a nice like fibre. Yeah, when I was plying it together I was going for quite a tight ply, so I think I did get there. And like I said, I haven't like blocked it yet, or anything like that. But considering, I feel like at points I was like, oh, am I going to be overspinning this? And I really don't think that this is overspun. I realize it's not like particularly straight in terms of its weighting yet, but like I said, it hasn't been set or anything, and considering that, I think it's gonna come out fine. So yes, I have this little bundle of yarn to do something with, which I will have to figure out. I have been thinking about maybe knitting like a handspun scarf at some point with like a bunch of my different little bits and bobs, because I feel like I don't have enough for like full kind of project and that kind of thing, but also like a scarf, maybe there's one called, what's it called, the best scarf ever, I don't know, I'll maybe put a picture, maybe not, I don't know. I feel like it might also be like a nice way to like show my handspun like all together in one garment, so you can kind of get a sense of that, and also maybe see some of my progress too, because I do feel like I am getting more and more consistent, even if it's still not, or at least like with my spindles, not so much with my wheel. But hopefully I will get there one day, and I do just need to put the time in and like work on it. But I just, yeah, now I am a bit more settled where I have moved, but I don't quite have a good setup with it yet. I'm kind of hoping maybe to find some like outside furniture that I could maybe put outside, so that when I have spoons to carry my spinning wheel, I could sit outside and spin, because I think that could be really nice. But we'll see. Yeah, I think that's kind of everything I had to share. I have been making like other things, like I sort of was maybe going to talk to you about some of those other projects, including FIMO. And I made this little worry stone as a kind of I don't know, proof of concept to see how to do it. And I also made this zine recently. I made another zine as well. I've been making lots of like little collagey things, like I said at the beginning, but this is a zine about Shabbos, like the feeling of Shabbos, and it's a portal zine, and it was inspired by a creator called Artizine, who had like a summer zine challenge, I think is what it was called, and one of the prompts was maybe like the center or something, but like the method was a portal zine, and so I made this, even though it's not like with the prompt, but it was with the technique, if that makes sense. But I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it's really nice and beautiful, and I made it over Shabbos, and it was like a really nice meditative Shabbos time, so that was also nice to have, considering the upheaval and the stress of moving and everything. Okay, I think that is everything I had to share. Let me know how your crafting has been going. I hope you have had a bearable summer. Who has? I wish you well with making the world less terrible than it is, and yes, I hope you can find some comfort and nourishment in making things and caring for people and other creatures. Okay, bye!